Hey there, and welcome back to Tube Guruji channel. Today, we are going to develop this beautiful Discover Place application with the help of Next.js, React, Tailwind CSS, Google Map API, Typescript, and then we are gonna deploy this complete application on the Vercel. Yes, you heard right. So this particular tutorial is completely beginner friendly, and we are going to develop the application from the scratch until we are deploying on the Vercel. Okay, so before talk about the technology in the detail, let's walk through the application first and let's see what going to build today. So if you see on the screen, right, we are going to develop this beautiful header section. On the left hand side we have this beautiful logo called Discover, and you if you see, right, we are using the custom Google font in our application so that you can change the font whenever you like. Next, we have this hero section with the beautiful search bar capabilities and this beautiful animation effect for each of this category when you hover on it. Okay, you can search whatever you want, and once you scroll down you will find the result section where you will see the place list nearby you. Okay, so you can search anything. For example, if I try to search hotels in New York, okay, and click search button, see the gradient effect is coming, the skeleton effect is coming, right? And then you will see the result immediately. And if you see, I got all the requested hotels in the New York. And now once whatever the hotels you want to see in detail, click on it, and on the right hand side on the drawer you will see the hotels details. Okay, so we have this beautiful image, we have this address and everything. And if you see, we have this button, direction button. If I click on this one, it will jump on the Google map with the direction. And if you see, it get all the details and everything. Okay, next we have this Google map integrated with the actual location with the marker. Okay, so I will teach you in less minimum code how to add the Google map for the respective place in our application. Okay, so you can close this one, and then you can also search what are the uh, with the help of category. For example, if I click on this restaurant category, see the restaurant comes up nearby me automatically. Okay, and you can click it, you will see all the details on the right hand side with the help of drawer. So guys, um if if you really love this video, please press like button. And now let's talk about the technologies. So in order to develop this complete application, we are going to use Next.js, which is one of the best React framework in the market right now. And if you did not use Next.js before, don't worry, I'm going to teach you everything from creating the application until the deployment of the application. Okay, then for styling purpose we are going to use Tailwind CSS, which is one of the best CSS library in the market right now. Okay, and if you go to my channel, you will find a lot of different tutorial where I'm using the Tailwind CSS. Okay, next we are going to use Google Map to fetch the place information, okay, nearby you according to your category. So in this particular section as well, tutorial as well, we are going to learn how to create the API key, how to enable that particular API in a Google Cloud Console. Okay, and it's completely free, so don't worry. And last but not least is deploying the application on the Vercel so that you can share your project with your friends, and you can even put your project on your portfolio. Okay, and if you never deploy any application on Vercel, don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to deploy it with the help of GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. Okay, so guys, if you want to explore more project, go to my channel called Chub Gurji. And if you did not subscribe before, please subscribe to my channel. Here you will find a lot of different application with the help of building with the help of Next.js, the all the full stack application. Also you can learn a lot of React Native project from it. Okay, so before doing any further delay, click subscribe button and let's start building our application. So, in order to create our React application, we are gonna use Next.js in order to build our React application. And Next.js is one of the best React framework currently in the market. Okay, and it contains a lot of different feature. The most important part regarding this Next.js is you don't need to do the routing configuration. Okay, the Next.js is taking care of everything, and we will learn all of this. Concept in this particular course. So if you go to this nextjs.org official website, and if you scroll down, you will see this command, okay, in order to create the next application. Okay, so first let's go back to your desired folder where you want to create a project, and just type cmd in order to open the command prompt in a desired folder like this. Okay, then in order to create a project, you have to type npx create next app, okay, at latest. So at latest will give you the next.js 13. Okay, and there are some more configuration which auto configured for our application. Okay, and if you go here, right, this is the same command which I type. So just enter it now, and then it will ask you, do you want to proceed? So you say yes, and here if you yeah, you have to give the project name. So in this case I will use discover, we'll say discover places. Okay, then it will ask you, would you like to use TypeScript? Say yes, because we are going to use TypeScript. The ES lint, I will say no. Now here it asking us, do you want to install Tailwind CSS? Okay, and obviously we are going to use Tailwind CSS in this particular course, and you don't need to configure separately. Okay, this particular command will taking care of installing the Tailwind CSS as well. Say click S. The source directory say no, and app router say yes. The import alias say no, and then we'll wait for a few seconds to install all this dependency which is required for our application. Okay, so once it installed, right, so it's about to install now. We'll wait few more seconds, and if you see the list of all the dependency which is going to install right now. Okay, and if you see all of the dependencies installed and the project is get created. Okay, now in order to open this project in a VS Code, you have to type code, and then you have to give the name of the project folder. So in this case it's discover places. Okay, and if you see our project is open directly in the VS Code. Okay, like this, and on the left hand side you will see this all the project files which is get created with the help of this command. Okay, perfect. Now let's run the application. So in order to run the application, you have to open the terminal by going to this terminal and the new terminal. Okay, so it will open the terminal inside your VS Code only. Then you have to type npm run dev, and it will build the our application. Okay, and if you see, it will open this port localhost colon 3000. Okay, on this port number your application will get open. So let's open this port by just clicking on it, and if you see, it's getting built. Okay, within some few seconds our application will run on this particular port, and if you see, this is the default page for this Next.js application. Let me bring this like this. Okay, now if I go to this app folder, and inside the app folder you will see some of the files like global.css, layout.tsx, and page.tsx. Okay, so the default page is the page.tsx. Okay, and inside the page.tsx, if you see, we have a lot of different things. Okay, see, so if I remove this code, so for example, if I select all of this code and remove it, okay, and just add the empty div and save it. So if you see now, let me refresh the screen, and if you see, nothing is showing on the screen. Okay, let's type something. If I type any h2 tag like subscribe to tube guruji, okay, and if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe to our channel and save it. Okay, and let me refresh sometime. Oh, see, the subscribe to tube guruji is showing on the screen. Okay, but along with that you will see this gradient aligning. Okay, that is because inside the global.css, inside this root and this root, right, they applied some default css. Okay, so I will just remove this css, and then the particular line is gone, right, and background is white. Now inside the layout.tsx, here you will see some of the metadata applied. Okay, that is very important for the SEO purpose. Also, if I see in the body tag, right, this is the children. This children is nothing but whatever the page you are going to render, it will render inside this children tag. Okay, and this is the class name is applied, and this is nothing but the font. Okay, so these are the default font right now is applied to this application throughout the application. Okay, so we'll learn how to change the default font to some other font. We'll learn that one as well, but for now I hope you understand how to run the application and how to edit the default page. After that, on the left hand side you will see this public folder where we can save all our images or assets. Okay, and you don't need to give complete path when you are trying to access this particular um, image images or assets, right? You can directly use it. So I will teach you how to do it. Then after that we have this next.config.js where it used to configure next related things. Okay, so that we will learn how to use this and how to write the configuration for the next.js. Okay, so we are going to use for our next.js images as well. When we are going to use a third party url images url, then that time we need to configure inside this next.config.js. After that we have this packet.json where it is written the script to run the application, to build the application, the name of the application along with the version and the dependency which is installed for this particular project. Then we have this post.css and tailwind.config.js, which is related to the Tailwind CSS configuration. And if you see right, this right now the Tailwind CSS is applicable to this particular folder called pages, components, and app. You can add your own as well. Okay, so make sure whenever you create a new folder, this folder name should be contains in this particular content. Okay, then only the Tailwind CSS is applicable to that folder. Okay, perfect. I hope you understand this particular part and how to run the application. Next, we will start building and writing the code, and we will start developing our header section. Now, let's implement the header section. I already added this logo PNG file, okay, for our application logo. Now, inside the root folder, I'll create a new folder called components, okay, and inside the component, we'll create a new file called header.tsx. So tsx is stand for Typescript XML, okay. Now, here you have to add the template. So if you see my saw my the previous video, right, every time I'm using some one couple of extension. So here, first of all, if you go to the react vs react sorry the VS code extension, right, and just type react, you will see this ES7 plus react extension. Install this extension, and then you have to install another extension called Tailwind CSS. Okay, make sure these two extension you install, and this extension will help you to write the default template. Okay, so for example, if I want to write the default template, and if you see, if I type RFC, which is stand for react function export component, and see the default template is created immediately. Okay, now save this template, and after this, once your component is ready, make sure to import this header inside the layout.tsx, because header we want throughout the application, right? So that's the reason we are going to import this header about inside this body like this. So header, okay, and make sure it's imported. So if you see the components header, okay, and save it. As soon as you save, and the header is showing on the screen. Now inside the header, let's add one more div, and inside that we will add the image. And if you see, we are gonna add image from the next slash image, okay, and everything else as it is. Once you add this image tag from the next slash image, make sure it's imported, okay, and close the tag. Now as I told in initially, right, our asset is in the public folder, and in order to access, just write logo.png. So slash logo.png, okay, and give some alternate name. So in this case I will write logo. Then we have to give width and height. So in this case I will give width of 50, height of 50, okay, and then save everything. Let me open side by side. So let me open it here. Oops, like this. Okay, and let me refresh the screen. Okay, if you see, the logo is showing on the screen now. Okay, perfect. After this, we need to give the name. Okay, so after this one, I will write the h2 tag, and inside that I will write discover like this. Okay, and if you see, the discover is showing. Now let's apply some styling to this one. So I will add the class name. I will add text of 25 pixel. Then I will also add the text color. So in this case I will add red 500. See, you get the suggestion. Now when you want to give your custom size, you have to give in a square bracket. Okay, otherwise you can use the Tailwind CSS size as well, like this, right? 2xl 3xl. But in order to get custom size, you have to write in a square bracket like this, 25 pixel, and save it. Okay, and if you see, it's, oh, I don't know what it is. Okay, yeah, so Discord is showing on the screen. Okay, then I want to give some gap between these letters. Okay, so in order to add the gap, the Tailwind CSS provide a beautiful property we can call tracking widest. Okay, so you have multiple option. Okay, for example, if I go tracking, and you have tight, normal, wider, widest, so I will give widest. Okay, and if you see, now you get some gap. Also I will give font of semi bold. Okay, and it will look like this. Okay, now bring this in one line. So for this div, we'll make flex. Okay, and also I will give some gap of 3, and it will be in the one line. Okay, for making vertically to be center, you can mark it as a items centers. Okay, so it will look like this. Perfect. Okay, next we need to add the some menu like home, contact us, about us, right? So in order to add menu, I will add the unordered list, and inside that I will add the list, and we'll say home. Okay, and then about us, and then contact us, and save it. And if you see, this three menu is showing on the screen. Now bring this everything in one line. Okay, so what I will do, I will add class name to be flex, item to be in the center, and now it will be in the one line. Okay, now let's add some gap as well. So what we can do, we'll add some gap of 8 maybe. Okay, and now apply some styling to this list. So I will get text of 18 pixel. Then uh let's save this one, and let's see how it looks. See. Okay, now next what we have to do, once your user hover on this one, we want to change the color to red. Okay, so in order to add that effect, right, you have to write hover colon and whatever the effect you want to apply. So in this case I want to change the text color to text red 500. Okay, and save it. And if I hover on this one, right, see the home, because right now we just applied to this home menu, that's why it's showing on there, right? Also right now if I hover on this one, right, the cursor is not changing. So what I will do, I will make it cursor to be pointer. Okay, so let me refresh, and if you see, the cursor changed to pointer now. Now I will just copy all of this Tailwind CSS class name and paste it for the remaining one. Okay, and if you see, it's applicable to all of this three menu. Now bring everything in one line. So for this div, make it flex. Okay, once you make it flex, it will be in one line, and we want this menu on the right hand side, so you can mark it as justify between. Okay, once you mark justify between, it will go at the end, and if you see, if I increase size, it will look like this. Now let's give some padding. So I will add a padding of 5. Okay, so if you see, the padding of 5 is equivalent to 20 pixel, and save it. And if you see, it will look like this. Okay, so it's up to you how much padding you want to apply. Also for visible purpose, right, I will also add the shadow to this uh, header. So I will add the shadow small size, okay, and save it. You have to refresh the screen. See, the vertical shadow effect is coming. Okay, this is how beautifully we can design. And perfect. Okay, I hope you understand this one. This is simple header we are developed for this application. Now this particular course is for is completely beginner friendly, okay, and that's the reason we kept all the things simpler. Okay, we I don't want to confuse you guys, and that's the reason we keep UI simple, and we will learn a basic and advanced concept of the Next.js 13, okay, one by one, because it is very important to learn the basic first, and then we will go from basic to advanced. Okay, I hope you understand this particular section, how to develop this beautiful header, and it's completely responsive as well. Now we will gonna change the font of the application. Okay, so it's very easy, and with the help of Next.js it's quite easy to configure the font, whatever the font you like. Okay, so first of all, you can choose the font, whatever font you want to add in your application. So you can go to the Google fonts, and here you can choose the font which you like. Okay, it's up to you, and just you need to get the name of this font. Okay, after that, let's go back to our application, and here inside the layout.tsx, because this is our default layout, right? Inside the layout.tsx, here you have to import that particular font. So by default currently it's inter font, right? And I'm gonna change to the railway. Okay, so I'm gonna use this railway font. Okay, now obviously here you have to replace inter with the railway. Okay, and I will change this constant name as the railway, like this. Okay, and now your the font is ready, right? This font you have to make sure to add in the body tag. Okay, so inside the class of the body you have to add that particular railway font, and you have to add this reference like this. Okay, and save it. Now once you save this font, refresh this particular screen, and if you see, the font is changed. Okay, previously it was different, but now it's completely changed. Now obviously you can add your font bold, semi bold, medium, whatever you like. Okay, it is applicable. Only thing you have to add in the class name, but other than that you updated the font completely for your application. This is how easy it is with the help of Next.js 13 to add and configure the your own custom Google font. Now next we are gonna build this hero section for our application. So if you see, we have this beautiful application name called discover. Okay, then we have this search bar with this on hover button effect, okay, for this search bar button. And then we have the list of category. See, okay, once you hover on this one, the border is going to change. And it's showing the beautiful animation, and the button is also pop up once you hover or your mouse pointer on this particular category. Okay, so this particular hero section um, de- we are gonna developing in this particular section. Now first, let's create a new file called inside the component folder. So let's go to component folder, and here I will create a new file called hero.tsx, and add the default template by just typing rfce, and click enter, and our component is ready. Okay, save this component, and then inside this inside this app folder, right, inside the page.tsx, I will remove this one, and here I will add the hero component like this. Okay, make sure it's imported, and then save it. Okay, and if you see, the hero component is showing on the screen now. The first thing we need to add is the background. Okay, so in the public folder I added all the required assets for this particular hero section, right? And inside that we have this bg.png background. Okay, so obviously you can access this all the assets using my github source link. Okay, so you can access that link and it is in the description below. Now let's go to the hero component, and inside this one I will add one div, and inside here I will add the image tag like this. Okay, so obviously this image tag is importing from the next slash image. Now we have to provide the source, so in this case the source is slash bg.png. Okay, then we have to provide the alt, so in this case we can say bg or hero, you can say hero image. Okay, then we have to provide the width, so I will provide the width of 800, height of 200. Obviously this you have to provide uh, as a required field. Okay, and then I will add some class name as well, but let's save it and let's see how it looking on the screen right now. Okay, see, it's look like this. Now what you have to do, I will make it width to be full and save it, and if you see, once I make the width to be full, it will look like this. Okay, straight throughout the screen, and that's what we wanted. Okay, then I need to make this image absolute, because on the top of this image we are gonna put our other content, right? So I will make this absolute, and I will mark it at margin top minus 50 pixel. Okay, because I want this image at the top, so I just provide this minus value. Okay, so and see, let okay, and it will look like this right now. Okay, next we will add our content. So after this uh, this image I will add one more div, and inside that I will add our h2 tag, and the name will be discover. Okay, now obviously for this one I will give some class name. So here I will provide the text of 55 pixel. Okay, and then I will make it text of red 600, and I want the space between the words, so I will say tracking widest, which we already use right in our header section, and I will also make font semi-bold, and save everything, and if you see, it's showing on the screen. Okay, now we want all this content in the center, so to make it right, so to this parent div, right, you can just mark class name and just say text to be center and save it, and let refresh it, and if you see, it's coming in the center. Okay, perfect. Now for this view I will give some margin from the top, so margin top to, we can give 70 pixel. Okay, so it will be little bottom like this. Okay, perfect. Now next we want to add the another h2 tag. Okay, so after this one I will add another h2 tag, and for this we can say your amazing city, discover your amazing city kind of thing. Okay, and also I will add the class name at text of 25 pixel. Okay, let's make it amazing city like this. Perfect, and let's save and let's see how it looks. Okay, let me decrease this size to maybe 20, and yeah, that's better. Okay, next we want to add the input field, right, the search input field. So to add that one, uh let's add, after this div, let's add one more div. Okay, and inside that I will add the input of type text, and I will close this tag. Here I will add the placeholder, and we can say search anything. Okay, you can add any placeholder you want, and I will add some class name. Let's see how it looks here. See, okay, but it's not clickable, right, because our image is absolute, right, and this is on, it's not top of top of this particular image. So what you have to do, you have to give the z index. Okay, so I will give z index to 10, and if you see, let me see, so we can give the z index to this one. I'm not sure why it's not working. Let me check. Okay, let's give some little bit more. See, it's showing. Okay, but let's do one thing. Let's add some styling to this first. So here we can say background to be white. Then we'll give some padding of 3 maybe. Okay, then I will add a border of 1 pixel, and that border need to be a rounded full. Okay, like this, and I will give padding X as well to 5, and let's see how it looks. See. Okay, now I want to increase the width. So what you can do, you can just write width of 30. I will do 36%. Okay, and we'll give some shadow to be small. And if you see, okay, perfect, right? Now after this one, for this div, right, this is our parent div for this particular input. So what I will do, I will add the class name. Let's first of all, let's add the margin top to 5, like this. Okay, and yeah, that's everything. Let's add Z here because I'm not sure why it's not working there. But let's see. It's still not. It's behind, right? That's the reason the background also is not applicable to this one. So another thing we can do is, because Z index is the important thing. Let's try to give Z index to this one as well. We give the input Z of 10. And save. Okay, background white, input type is equal to text, and everything looks good to me. Oops, sorry. Okay, we'll check that in a moment, but I hope you understand this particular part, right? Only thing is pending is now button. So let's add the button as well. So after this input, I will add the button, and inside this button, right, we want to add the icon. So just search for the hero icons, and here you can search. We want search icon, so just search and copy .jsx. Okay, and just paste it here like this. Okay, now from here we have this class name. Okay, we have width and height as well. So inside this one, you need to give the text of white because right now it's black color. Okay, and for this particular button, we'll add some class name. So here, first of all, I want to change the background, so I will let background rate to be 600, and I want rounded to be full. Okay, and save everything, and let's see how it looks. See. Okay, but we want to give some padding and all, so add this padding of 3. Then I'll also add shadow medium, and I will add Z index to 10, make it cursor pointer, and on hover effect we want to scale the size to maybe 105, and save it. Okay, so you all already know how this hover effect is used, right? Whatever you return after this hover, whenever you move the cursor pointer on the that particular element, this particular styling will get applied to this particular uh, component. Okay, if you see, the hover button is coming. Now let's bring everything in one line in and vertically to be in the center. So for this div, you just need to make it flex. So make it flex, and I will use some gap of 2, make item to be in the center, and then save it. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so right now if you see, it's coming on the left hand side because we make it flex. So what you have to do, you have to make it justify to be in the center. Okay, and once you make justify center, yeah, see. Okay, and if you see, our Z index also applied because we make it flex and we make it also justify center along with item to be in the center. And then this, the issue was, we have the right, the Z index that also applied, and now it's completely clickable. Also this animation also showing on the screen, right? But this animation is quite quickly, right? So to for smooth animation, you can just mark it as a transition all, right? So whenever you marking hover effect, right, make make sure you will add this transition all, so it applied a smooth animation. Okay, you can give the duration as well, how much duration you want to add this for this particular animation, right? And this is how easily we design this search bar along with the button. Okay, if you have any question until this point, let me know in the comment section. Next we will add this category as well. Okay, so let's do that. Now, in order to add the category, right, I will add the all the list of category inside one file, right? So what I will do, I will create a new folder here in the root directory called data, and inside the data I will create a new file called category.tsx. Okay, and I will paste this all this list of category. Okay, so first thing is important that I'm just exporting the default value. Okay, so that I can directly access with the help of category, and and I will get this list of category. So inside this each object that consists of id, the name of the category, and the icon. Okay, so these icon are accessing from this public folder. So if I see the restaurant, right, this restaurant is here, see. Okay, so it is in the black color, so and so on. So let's save this one, and then inside the components in the heroes.tsx, after this one we will add our list of category. Okay, so after this div we'll add the list of category. So after this div we'll add the h2 tag, so h2, and here I will say or browse the category kind of thing. Okay, and save it, and let's see how it looks. See. Okay, so obviously for this div you can give some margin, so I will give margin top 5. Okay, and save it. Next we want to add the list of categories, so I will wrap this in one div. Obviously when you are trying to access it and you want to iterate this value, right, you have to you have to write it in the curly braces. Okay, then you have to write the data, so in this case is category, and if you type the category it will give the suggestion the category from the data slash category. Okay, so import that one dot map. Okay, inside that one we have to give item comma index. Okay, and then the arrow function like this. So if you see right now, uh, inside this particular map, okay, you can add your code to whatever the value you want to show on the UI. Okay, so I will add the div like this. Okay, just in that div, and if I type something, for example if I type category and save it, right, so this category name will display multiple times. See, because it's iterating correctly there. For example if it says there are 7 or 8 list, sorry, the object list, then it will iterate that much time. Okay, perfect. Now inside this one, let's add the image first, so I will add the image tag. Okay, this image tag is importing from the next slash image, then source tag, and here I will add the item dot icon. Okay, this item dot icon is coming from this category. See this one. Okay, that's what I'm accessing. Give the alt name, so alt name I will give the name of the category only, item dot name. Okay, like this. Then we have to give some width, so width will be 30, height will be 30, like this, and save everything. Now let's go back to application, and if you see our category is showing on the this left hand side. See. Okay, now let's apply some styling to this image. So for this div we'll add the class name, and first thing I will add the border of 1 pixel. Then I will add the width of 60 pixel. Okay, for this particular div. Then I will add the padding, so let's add padding of 4, background to be white, and I will make it rounded to be full. Okay, and save it, and let's see how it looks. See, it's showing with the beautiful styling is applied to this particular category. Now we want to bring everything here. Okay, so in order to bring it right to this div, about this list of category, right, here you have to apply class name and you have to mark it as a grid. Okay, so whenever the screen size is smaller, start from there, right? You have to think, if the screen size is smaller, how many category you want to show on the screen. So in this case I will say grid column 3, so 3 column I want to show. When the screen size is medium or larger, how many column you want to show. So in this case you can say maybe 6 or 7. Okay, and then save it. And you have to also, let's see how it looks first. Okay, and see, it's spread throughout the screen. So let's add some width. Okay, so here you can say width of 50%. Okay, 50%, and you have to make it justified to be in the center. Okay, let's give some gap if needed, and we'll also add the margin from the top, and let's save everything. And if you see, it will look like this. Okay, perfectly fine. Now obviously we want everything to be in the center. So for this particular div, just make flex column, because you are adding here, right? You are adding this tag as well, right? That's the reason we want in the column type, and make it justify center. And if I see here, okay, wait, so I don't know why. Well, let's make it item to be in center, because it's column, right? Still it's showing on the left hand side, right? So what else we miss? Flex column, justify center, we mark it as a flex as well. So here we make one mistake call. Here don't need to write this first letter and then save it, right? And now if you read the screen, see, it's coming in the center, right? But we want this background to be white, right? This background to be white, and we also want to add some styling to this one. Okay, so let's go back to this div, right? And make the z index to be 10. Okay, and let's try it now. See, the white background is showing on the screen now, right? Now once you hover on this one, right, we want to do couple of things. First, we want to change this cursor pointer. Then on hover we want to scale the size, and then we want to change back the border color to red. Okay, so here on hover we want to change the border color, so let's say text red to 600. On hover we want to scale the size, so I will say 110, and we want to make the cursor pointer. Okay, so these three things which we discussed, we implemented, and then save everything. And let's try it now. If I hover, see, the effect is showing, right? But the border color is not applied. Okay, see, on hover, instead of text we want border. Okay, and save it. Also let's add the transition as well, okay, for the smooth animation. And if I see, the border color is saying the animation is showing smoothly. Perfect. Okay, also the search bar is working now. If you don't want this border, you can remove it, or you can change this border color, right? So it's quite easy. So for this input, right here, so here you can say outline to be red. The spelling is not correct. Outline red 600. Let's save it, and let's try it now. Okay. So see, oh sorry. And if you see, the border color is changed. You can little bit change this color to 300. Again, we don't want darker. Oops, what is happening? And see, perfect. Okay, and this color is also showing beautifully. So that's all for this hero section, right? I hope you understand how we implemented, and how what are the concept we covered in this one, right? Now one question you might have, why we are using this index, and what is the purpose of this index variable. So whenever you are iterating this value, right, we have this item is nothing but the object from this list, and then we have this index, which is nothing but it's tracking the number of value we are showing, right? For example, it's 0 to element, or 1 or 2 3 4 kind of thing. Okay, so this is tracking the number, the index id, right? So whenever you are applying some you are writing some code in tag, right? Every time you have to provide the key. Okay, and it need to be unique, so that time you can provide the index value. Okay, because obviously index will be a unique every time. Okay, so you can provide the item id as well, but sometimes if item id is duplicate, then it will give the error, so better give the index value. Okay, obviously it's not gonna change anything, but it's the only thing that you can avoid sometime the error, and the key is very important. Okay, anyway, so I hope you understand this one, the hero section. Obviously the logical part we are going to implement once we integrate the Google Map API in our application. We will learn how, once you type some category or you want to search something and click on the search button, we are going to fetch the Google Maps API, the data from the Google Map API, and then we will show the list of places nearby you on this particular screen. Okay, and obviously you will see the details of the places and everything. A lot of things we are going to implement in this particular course. So guys, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe first, and let's watch this complete video. So in this section, we are going to configure Google Place API. Okay. So first of all, let's go to the Google Place API documentation. Okay. And here, if you go on this particular URL, I will put the URL in the link in the description. And here you have find a different type of option, right, to find the place, nearby search, or text search. So text search means you can just enter something and it will give the result. Okay, so obviously we are going to use text search, but you can do the find place or nearby search as well. Okay, so click on text search, and here you will find the API endpoint, right? This is the basic structure how to call this API endpoint. And if you scroll further down, you will find the endpoint. Okay, for example, you have to call this one, and in the query you have to pass the value which you want to find. So in this case, user is searching restaurant in Sydney, and then you will get the result. Okay, also uh, you have to pass this API key as well. Okay, I will let you know how to create the API key in a moment. Okay, but if you scroll more down, you can also find the all the nearby places depend on your location. Okay, so here you have to send your location to this API endpoint, and then you have to pass the query as well, as simple as that. Okay, along with the radius you can pass it, and the API key. Okay, so this is how simple it is. Right now we are just using this basic example or basic API endpoint in order to get the result. Now the question is how to get the API key. Okay, so on Google, just type Google Cloud Console. Okay, and then this is the official URL. Okay, so Cloud Console, here you have to say go to console. If you did not have account, create one. Now many users have issue that they don't have the credit card details. Okay, so in this case, obviously you cannot use the Google API endpoint. Some in some country it's allowed, in some it's not, right? So you can also add the debit card or credit card if you have your parents debit card or credit card. Okay, it's totally fine. Again, it's completely free. Okay, the free trial is available and it's completely free to use. So don't worry that you will get charged immediately. No, you will not get any charge. Okay, so this is very important. Just add the credit card if you have, and if you don't have, I will let you know what to do. And if you don't have the credit card, okay, you can create your own API with the backend like Strapi or something else, Graphy. You can refer my some of the previous video, right? I use the own CMS, and then you can add your own data inside that and use that API to show the information on the UI side as well. Okay, but right now we are going to use this Google Place API. So once you are on this home page of this Google Cloud Console, here on the left hand side you have to go to this API service. Okay, inside this API service, you can enable the API service. Okay, you can just search the API like Google Place API, right? And once you are in this Google Place API, you have to enable that API. Okay, and you will find a bunch of different type of API here. Okay, so in this case, this place API, and here you will see this button kind of enable, and just click enable. Okay, after that, once again go back to this API service. Let me go back. Okay, so once you are in this API service section, go to this key and credentials, and here you can create a new credential. That's all, and you have to say API key. Okay, so I already have this API key. Don't use mine. Okay, and just copy this API key from here. You have to fill some of the information and then click next. Okay, once you have this API key, go back to your application, and here you have to create a new file. Okay, so you can say .env .local. Okay, inside that, enter your API key. Google place key, I will say, is equal to, and paste your API key. Okay, that's all. Now you have the API key ready. Okay, and now we need to create the next API. Okay, so in next 13 API, we will call that API in the API in API, and then you have to use that particular API in our application. Okay, but before that, now you have the API key. Okay, let's, for now I will paste it here like this. Okay, and then go to this API endpoint. Okay, I will copy this API endpoint until this point. Okay, and I will paste it here like this. Okay, so this is the simple API endpoint call along with the API key, and click enter. Okay, as soon as you click enter, you will find the result, right? If you see the business status, the address along with this location, then you have the restaurant name, the opening hours, the photo as well. Okay, the photo reference, then it also have the rating and lot of things. Okay, and it has a bunch of, it's not only one result, but you will find around 20 result in one go. Okay, so perfect, it's working perfectly fine. Our API endpoint is working. Now the question is how to call it in the next 13 application. So if you go to this routing, okay, routing handler, and in Next.js 13 documentation, here you will find how to add the API inside the next 13 application. Okay, so inside the app folder, we have to create a new folder called API, and inside that we have to create route.js. Okay, and it will create a default route. Obviously, if you want endpoint, you have to give the folder name, and inside that you have to write route.js. Okay, so obviously I will teach you how to create it and how to use this place API inside this Next.js 13 API, so that we can use in our application. Now inside the API folder, we have to create a inside the app folder, we have to create a new folder called API. So we'll call API. Inside that, I will create a new, again, new folder. Okay, and that will be our API endpoint. So I will call it Google Place API. Okay, and inside that we have to create a file called root.js. Oh, sorry, we can call tsx because it's a TypeScript. Okay, so now this is our API endpoint. Okay, so first thing what you have to do, write constant. Okay, and the base URL for our API endpoint. Okay, so in this case is this one. Okay, and of which is nothing but the one which we copied. Okay, until this point, question mark. Okay, then we need to get the Google API key. So I will write Google place key is equal to process.env dot, and just copy this name. Okay, like this. Next we have to write export async function, then we have to give name. So in this case it's a get request. Okay, and the request of type any. Inside that we need to call the our API endpoint. Okay, and we also get, we have to write return. So return will be in the form of next response, and it is importing from the next slash server. Okay, dot json, and if I say like data hi. Okay, let's try to call this API endpoint now. Okay, this is simple API endpoint returning hi. Okay, so let's go back to our browser, and here I will call localhost 3000 slash API slash Google Place API and enter. Okay, and if you see, we got the response as a data and hi. Okay, it means our API endpoint is created successfully and it's working. Now we have to call the actual API. So constant result is equal to await. I will be a fetch, and inside this fetch we have to call the endpoint. So base URL plus is equal to query. So this will be similar like this. Okay, query API key. You just paste it here like this. Okay, plus it will be colon, and the API key is nothing but this Google Place key. So I'll paste it here like this. Okay, then you have to pass the header as well. Just pass header here, comma header. Okay, then constant here will say response is equal to await result.json. Okay, so inside this response we will get the result, and I will just write the response here like this. Okay, perfect. And let's test it out. Obviously query is passing the hard coded. Okay, we will later on change it, but for now we'll keep it like this. Okay, and go back in our API endpoint, enter it, and if you see, we got the result. Okay, and this result nothing but the restaurant in the Sydney. Okay, so it has address and everything. See how beautifully. Okay, now obviously you can pass the query here, and then that query you need to replace it with here. Okay, so it's very simple. Try it on your own. Here we can say q is equal to, and then you have to pass some value. Okay, here, and this value we have to fetch it here. Okay, and then pass it inside this query. Okay, try it, give the try, and let me know in the comment section if you have a question. I will let you know, and obviously you can access my source code as well. Now here you just need to write this search params. Okay, is equal to new URL, and from the request variable you have to get the URL, and then you have to get the value, whatever the value you are passing to the field name. Okay, that field name you have to pass it here, and then save it in a one variable or constant, and then I added it, pass it it as a query. Okay, now save this one, and let's go back and just type, for example, question mark query is equal to hotels in New York, and enter, and if you see, we got the hotels in New York. Okay, so this is how simple it is. Only thing we have to pass the API endpoint with the query, and then we'll get the result. Now next we are going to use this Next.js API inside our application to call this place API endpoint. Okay, that's what we are looking now. Now let's go back to our VS code. Okay, and inside here, inside the components, we'll create a new component, and we can call place list .tsx. Okay, and add the default template like this and save it. Now import this place list inside the page.tsx after this hero. Okay, so I will paste it here like this and import this place list. Okay, and save it. Now let's go back to our application, and okay, and as you see, the place list is showing. Okay, now once you add this place list, right, a couple of things we need to take care of. So first thing, let's go to the place list, and here what I will do, sorry, I will add the class name, and I will add the padding x to 10 pixel when the screen size is smaller, and when the screen size is medium I will add the padding x to 120 pixel. Okay, and I will give some margin from top to 7, and this will be place list, and I will give the heading in h2 tag as a search result results. Okay. Oops, sorry, results. And I will add the class name. I will add text of 20 pixel and then font to be bold. Okay, and save everything. Okay, and if you see, the search result is showing on the screen now. Perfect. Now here what we need to do, first of all, let's fetch the response, fetch the API, right? So we'll fetch it in page.tsx. Okay, so let's go to the page.tsx, and here I will make one method function call. So we'll, let's say, constant get place list is equal to, it will be a async like this. Okay, now constant result is equal to await fetch, and obviously we need to fetch it from our local, so you need to add slash API slash Google place API. This is our endpoint, right? Question mark query you need to pass is equal to, so for now I will pass it as a hotels. We pass the dummy one, so hotels in New York like this. Okay, and after this one we need to get constant data is equal to await result dot json like this. Now we'll console this result, so console this data, whatever data we are getting, we'll see. And obviously our this function is ready, but we need to call it, right? So in order to call it, we are using this use effect inbuilt hook. If you don't know about the use effect, right, so let me explain. So this use effect is a react hook. Okay, and it will execute for each instance. Okay, whenever the application is load, it will execute in infinite time. Okay, if you define like this. Okay, but once we load this component, we only want to execute only once. So in order to do that, you need to write this use effect, and here you have to pass the empty array like this. Okay, so it will execute only once. If you want to execute whenever the some variable change, that variable name x y z or whatever variable name is, here you have to provide like this. Okay, so we'll see next, but right now we only want to execute only once. Okay, and now you can call this get place list here. So whenever the this component is load, this use if will get load and this get place list will get called. Now save everything, open the inspect panel. Okay, go to the console, clean everything and refresh the screen. Let's see. Okay, so why it's taking time, let me check. Everything's good, right? So right now if you see, right, we got the one error that near this use effect, right? So this error is saying that, right, you are trying to access this use effect which is a client side, but our component is acting as a server side. So here you have to mark it as a use client. You have to write like this, use client. It means we are telling to the application this particular page need to execute on the client side. That's the reason we write use client. Now, and if you see, we got the response. Okay, and inside the response we have this results. Okay, object, and inside that we have the list of all the places. Okay, so in order to access this result, we can just write data dot response dot results. Okay, and now we will only get the uh expected result. See, the 20 place list is showing on the screen. Okay, I hope you understand this one. Now we need to save it in one state so that we can pass it into the place list, right? So here define a state constant, we'll say place list comma set place list is equal to use state. Again, use state is a react inbuilt hook and which used to hold the value. Okay, so this place list will hold the value and set place list will set the value for this place list. Okay, so initially I will pass the empty array, and over here I will just set place list, and I will pass this value which we required. Okay, and now what I will do, I will say here if place list is there, then only show this place list component, otherwise show nothing. And so that I will pass as a null, and here just pass the place list is equal to place list. Okay, like this. Now if you see, we got the error because inside the place list component we don't have any props, so you can accept it as a props like this. Okay, and I will pass the type any. Now the reason that I'm passing any, because if you see, right, this object list is too big, right, and I don't want to put everything in one interface. So that is the reason I'm passing any, so that is a type, the object type of any, and any value can hold, this place list can hold. Okay, perfect. Now we have the place list here inside this place list component, and page.txs fetching this get place list from the API. Okay, so until this point, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. You can directly DM me on my Instagram channel, and you can follow my Instagram channel there as well. Okay, next we are gonna implement or show it on the UI, the all the playlist which we faced. Okay, and guys, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, and you can go to this my channel, and then you can find a lot of different contents. You can learn React, Next.js, and lot of different things. Okay, go ahead and watch it, and let's move forward. Now, let's create the list of places and display it on the UI screen. Okay, so first of all, let's go to these components, and inside the place list, we have this place list right here. Below that, we will add the div tag. Okay, inside the div tag, I will add the place list. Okay, dot map, because we want to iterate the list, right? Inside that, I will write place, comma, index. Okay, I already explained why we are using index. Okay, so index is nothing but the number 0 1 2 3, and here I type place of type any, and the in the tag. Okay, let's define one div like this. Okay, now let's make sure that we are getting the list of places. Okay, so we will just write the list, the place name. Okay, we will iterate the place name like this and save it. Now let's go back to our application. Okay, it's close, I don't know. Okay, and over here if you see, we'll got the place list. Okay, and the name of the places. Perfect, it means our logic, or our implementation is working. We are able to successfully iterate the list of places. Okay, now what I will do, I will create a new component for the place item. So I will call place item dot tsx, or we can call place card, item card. Okay, .tsx, add the default template like this. Okay, and here we will iterate the place item card in this case. Okay, so go to the place list and replace this with the place item card, import the component, and save everything. Okay, now we'll say the place card, a place item card text only, because he's right now we are only displaying the place item card. Now we need to pass the place information, so I will pass it as a like this place. So this place we need to pass it here, and make sure you will accept it as a prop here. Okay, is of type any. Okay, now we have the place here, and save everything. Now I already coded, write the code for this particular card, right? I will just copy paste it here. So I'll paste it here like this. Okay, and make sure to import this image. So I will import the image, and only thing that I did it here, right, I added this placeholder for now. Okay, the blank image, I will import this placeholder in public folder as well. And also I'm adding this, where is this things. Okay, so I am adding this address, the place dot formatted address, then the name, the rating, and everything. Okay, see, place name and everything is there. Only thing we need to add is the image. Okay, so inside the public folder we need to add the placeholder image. Okay, so just placeholder image, I will find it here like this. Go to the image, select any images which you want to add. So let's save image ads and save it. Okay, I will just copy this image, and inside this I'll paste it here. Okay, and I will rename this one as a placeholder. Okay, perfect. And save everything. Now let's go back to our application. Okay, so right now I don't know placeholder. It's not showing as expected. Let's see placeholder.jpg, right? Okay, it's a jpg only, so let's rename that one and save it. Okay, now you see we got this card, but this card's too big and it's not structurized, right? So in order to fix this, right, what you need to do, uh, you need to apply the grid. Okay, so that it will reflect the change. Okay, so first of all, let's go to the place list, and inside this div, let's say class name. Okay, so here you have to mention it as a grid. Okay, first of all you have to add it as a grid. Then when the screen size is smaller, you can make the grid, you will only show the two columns. Okay, when the grid size is medium or larger, you can make grid, sorry, medium. When the screen size is medium, you can show grid column to be maybe 3. Okay, and when the screen size is larger, you can say grid calls 4, and save everything. Now let's test it out. And if you see, right now screen size is larger, it's showing 4 column. Okay, let's go to inspect panel. When the screen size is smaller, it's showing 3, and when it's smaller, it's 2. So medium for 3 and large is 4. Okay, now let's apply some styling. So let me bring this down like this, and now here you can give some gap. Okay, so I will say give gap of 5. Let's see, now see the gap of 5 is added. Now also for this placeholder, right, we add the, for this item card, we'll add the height. So we'll add the height of 100 pixel maybe. Okay, like this. See, we can add more 150 pixel. Okay, maybe this is okay. And also we want to it's right now is, if you see that the image is stretched, so just say object cover, and then it will completely fill this particular area. Okay, also make this particular place list due to be, maybe we can apply z index here only. Okay, so z to 10. Let's see how it looks. As name z index, because right now we added this image absolute, right? That's the reason we need to give, and if you see it's work. Okay, also this place item card. Okay, we have this image, correct? And we added the rounded x. I don't know why it's not applied. Okay, so what you can do, you can apply this rounded corner to image as well. So here you can say rounded top, maybe excel, right, and save it. And if you see for excel, the top corner is rounded. Okay, perfect. And how beautifully it's showing. Okay, now if I decrease the screen size, see, it's changed the layout immediately. Okay, perfect. So until this point, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now you can add more field. Okay, because if you go to our response, right, we have a lot of different field. Okay, okay, right now if you see we have this error, but we'll solve in a moment. But here, if you see, right, we have the business status, whether it is operational or not. We have the photo in a in a next section, we will cover this one as well. And also we have the types, we have the ratings. So all of these things are there, you can use it here to display it on the UI as well. Okay, so now another thing, right, that we have this error is because it's saying that each child in the list should have the unique key prop. Okay, so inside the place list, right, inside this div, we need to provide the key props, and that's the reason we added this index. So obviously index is unique, and that's the reason we're showing here. Now clean everything, refresh the screen, and make sure that error is no longer there. See? Okay, perfect. So guys, until this point, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Now you can go ahead and do some styling to this one. Okay, so it look more beautiful. It is look beautiful as right now as well, but yeah, you can try it on your own. You can add the custom Tailwind CSS classes, and it's up to you how you want to show it on the UI. Okay, perfect. So now we need to show the actual place image here, right now we are showing the placeholder, but we need to replace it with the actual image. Okay, and if you see the response, right, let's go to the inspect panel and let's see the response. Inside this response, right, we have this photos object, and inside that, the first element, we have this photo reference. And if you see, we don't have any URL in order to show the image, right? So with the help of this photo reference, we need to fetch the photo for this place. Okay, and for that one, the Google is providing another API called for place photos. Okay, and if you scroll down, right, here is the example in order to fetch the photo. So this is the particular endpoint, and this is the photo reference, and the this photo reference, we need to pass it to this photo reference variable. Okay, so if you see this photo reference, we need to pass, and then the last is API key. Okay, so first of all, let's copy this endpoint. Okay, I will copy this one, and let's go back to our application. So here, right, I already defined this base URL photo. See? Okay, so this base URL nothing but the one which we copied, and then inside this source I will remove this one because this is the dynamic one. We have to write in a curly braces. So first thing, we have to write base URL photo, then we have to add the next thing is this photo reference is equal to. Okay, so photo reference is equal to, and we need to add this photo reference, uh this particular photo reference, so it is in the photos. Okay, and this photo reference, so we have to write, let me bring this down. So place question mark photos of 0 dot, and we have photo reference. So photo reference like this. Okay, I'm giving the question mark because if it's not there, it will not throw any error. Okay, next we have to add the key, right? So this is the, oh, sorry, this is the key we need to add. So add key is equal to, add key is equal to, okay, so this needs to be in the curly braces, quote, and here we are going to provide the process dot env, right? And now in this case, right, because we are accessing the API on the client side, right, we need to write the API key like this, next public, and this name of the key. Okay, and is equal to this particular API key. Okay, because we are accessing this API key on the client side, and that's the reason we have to mark it API key as a public. Okay, now let's save this one, and now here we need to add this API key as well. Okay, and now save everything. Let's go back to our application, and if you see, we got one error, right? This error is showing that the hostname maps.googleapi.com is not configured under the images in your next.config.js. Okay, so whenever you are trying to access any URL inside the next config for the image, you need to configure the host name or a domain name inside the next.config.js. Okay, this is for the security purpose. So let's go to this next.config.js, and inside this next config we have to write images. Inside this one we have to write domains, and here we need to give the list of domains. So in this case, we have to mark it, we have to add this domain. Okay, if you have multiple domain, just give comma and add the remaining domain. Okay, so I saved this one. Obviously once you save, right, you need to restart the server because you modified the configuration file. Okay, so I will write npm run dev, and our project is running. Let's refresh the screen and just wait for a few seconds to build the application. So okay, so if you see, our application is built, and we see we got the result as well. Okay, so if you see, we have this all this information with the image, the place information and everything. Okay, and as I say, this is completely responsive. Okay, if I decrease the size, see how beautifully it's changing the layout along with this category, along with this list of places as well. Okay, so I hope you understand how to use the Google Map Place Photo API in order to show the image for each the place. Okay, perfect. Now, on the click of this particular place, right, we want to show the details of the place. So once we click on any of this place, right, we are going to show the drawer on the right hand side. Okay, so if I click any of this particular place, we are going to show drawer, and on that one we are showing the all the place information. Okay, so first of all, let's go back to our application, and in VS Code, and inside this component folder we will create a new component, and we can call it as site drawer.tsx. Add the default template and save it. Now make sure to import the site drawer inside the place list. Okay, so go to the place list, and inside after this div, right, I will add another div, and here I will add that site drawer. Okay, make sure to import it like this and save it. Now if I go back to our application, and let me refresh it. Okay, so if you see right here, the side drawer is coming, the text side drawer is coming. Okay, perfect. It means our side drawer components is imported inside this place list. Now the next part is to give the width and height for the side drawer. Okay, so go to the side drawer, and here I will add the class name. Inside that I will add the height to the full screen of the height, right? Then width will be the screen when the screen size is smaller. Okay, note down, this is very important. When the screen size is smaller, we will give width to the full screen, but if the screen size is medium or larger, we'll give width of 400 pixel. Okay, then I will add the background to be white. Okay, and let's add some shadow. So I'll shadow medium. Okay, we'll add some padding of 5 and z index to 20. Okay, and let's go back to our application, and if you see, the side drawer is coming, but it's coming below this place list, right, and you want it on the right hand side. So what to make it that one, right, you have two options. You can make it absolute, or you can make sticky. Okay, there is some difference. If you make the absolute, right, it will at the top side only, and when you scroll you will not see that one. Okay, so make it as a sticky. So let's go back here and make it sticky, and let's see how it looks now. So let me refresh the screen. See, right now you don't see any change, right? Because even though you make sticky, you will not find any change here. Okay, because we also need to apply some styling on the place list inside the place list component as well. Okay, so let's go back to our place list. So what we'll do, let's go back to the place list, and inside this div right here, we need to apply some classes. Okay, so add class name, and here we can make fix. Then we want at the top of 0, and let's see how it looks. See, it's coming at the top, right? Then we need to make it right to 0, and z to 20. Okay, so z index to 20, and if you see, even though if I scroll, doesn't it does not change. Okay, inside drawer I don't think so we need sticky. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, yeah, you can remove the sticky option. Okay, perfect. Now our side drawer is showing, but if I decrease the screen size, right, see, if I make the screen size smaller, you will see it's in the full screen. Okay, if I go to the mobile view, see, it's will be a full screen. This is the padding, that's the reason it's showing like this, but this is how it looks. Okay, perfect. Now next, what we will do, we will add toggle. Okay, so only when we click on this particular place list we want to open this drawer. Okay, so what I will do, first of all, let's go back to our place list, and inside here, for on this div, right, we'll add the on click method like this. Okay, and before that, let me make one state, so constant. We'll set selected place. Okay, this will hold the place which we selected place is equal to use state, and the value is empty initially. And when you click on the place, right, inside this on click method, we will add set selected place and we'll pass the place value. Okay, only one place information will store in this selected place state. Next, once we have this one, right, we can only show this drawer when the selected place has some information. So I will give name like this. Okay, and otherwise don't show this drawer. Now if you see, you got the error because the stage is of type is the type is undefined, right? So you can define the type, the specific type, by using the interface, but for now I am showing it as a type of any. Okay, now many people will say why we are using everywhere any, right? Because for the simplicity purpose, right, if I define the interface with the like this, right, and you have to define a lot of different fields. Okay, it's very time consuming. You can do it on your own, but for now, for the simplicity purpose, and as you're a beginner, I will likely using any. Okay, and if you see, now this error is gone. Okay, now if I save it and let's go back to application, right, let me close this one. If I click this, see the side draw is coming, but how to close it now? All right, so on and this one, we will add the close button. Okay, so let's go back to our application. In the side drawer, we'll add the close button. Okay, so what I will do for now, I will add one button. Let's call it as a close. Okay, and on this button I will add on click method like this. Okay, and we'll say uh we'll just call close. Okay, and this close method we have to pass it here like this, as of type any I will put it. And obviously this is the child component, then obviously this close we need to pass it to the place list, right? So here like this, so you can say close, and inside here what we will do, once the close method of button get clicked, this close will get called inside this place list, and then here we'll set the selected place value to empty. Obviously if it's empty, then this method will get false and this drawer will get closed automatically. Okay, let's save everything. Let's go back to our application. If I close it, see this close. If I open anything, right, see the drawer is open. If I click close, the drawer is closed. See how beautifully it's changing. Okay, perfect. So this is how it works. If you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now once we have this drawer ready, right, let's display some data, right? So first of all, I will replace this close button to this some icon. Okay, so just type close and this icon I will use. Okay, then copy this jsx, go to your side drawer, and instead of close I will add this svg icon, okay, for a close button, and save it, and let's see how it looks. So let's go back to our application and see I can able to close it now with the icon. Next, we will add display some data, right? So for that one, we have to make sure that we'll pass the place information to this side drawer. Okay, so what I will do, I will pass the prop as a place, and here I will pass the selected place, because in selected place we have the selected place information. Okay, and inside the side drawer, after this, maybe before this close, I will add the place. Okay, and is of type any, that's fine. Now we have the place information, okay, ready, and save everything. Now let's display the one by one component. Okay, not component, but one by one the name and everything. So inside one div, I will add the h2 tag. Okay, so I will just copy paste it because I already have. So first of all, I'm displaying place dot name. Okay, so it will show the place name. Let me bring this down. Okay, and I applied some styling as well. Okay, so if you go back, we see. the place name is showing. Okay, then we'll show the image. Okay, so for image, first of all, obviously, if you remember, right, inside the place item card we define this base url and this particular image and everything, right? So similar kind of thing we are doing here. So first of all, I will define the base url, and then I will define the image. Okay, so I already have it. I will just copy it here. So after this h2 tag I will add this image. Okay, and make sure to import this image from the next slash image. Okay, let me bring this back one line and save it. And if you go back here, so right now we got one error. We'll see what's the error here. So we have the image, we have the photo base photo url here. Okay, let's make sure. Yes, and then we are bringing the photo reference, right? Look like everything's correct. Okay, so API key need to be, I think the name is little different. Let me check. Okay, and save it now. And let's see the image is showing on the screen. Okay, perfect. Now obviously, if you think okay this is too big, you can decrease the size. So what I will do, I will change this to maybe 20 pixel. Me, and then I will make the height to 170. Yes, I think this is much better. Okay, after that we'll define one div, and inside that I will add some other information. Okay, so first of all I will add the formatted address and then other details. Okay, so let's me put it here like this. Okay, this in one line and save it, and let's see how it looks. See, the address is coming. Okay, similar way I will add the other a few more details. Okay, so I will add the opening hours and all, or means the rating and all, sorry. Okay, so maybe after this div, another div, and see opening hours is showing. Perfect. Then I will add the two buttons. Okay, so this button will act for direction and sharing the screen. Okay, so after this div, I will paste it here. So obviously if you have any question you can just refer my source code. Okay, for the time being I'm just copy and paste. It's simple HTML tag with some information. Okay, and save it. You will see we got the button. Now what we need to do, we need to show the map. Okay, the location of the particular selected place below this one. Okay, but question is how to show it. So again, Google Map is providing this embedded API, okay, to show the Google Map on the screen with the help of iframe. Okay, if you go to this official documentation of the uh, maps embedded API, here you will see the how it works. Okay, so inside the iframe you need to provide the source. Okay, and inside that you have to provide the API key. I will in a moment I will teach you how to do it. And then query, inside query we will pass the actual address because we already have address, and this is the result you will get it. Okay, so you can just say quick go to quick start, and here we'll find how to do it. Okay, so before that obviously we need to go to the Google Cloud Console. Okay, so just say project selector page, so it will jump to the Google Cloud Console. Okay, and inside the app API admin, right, make sure you have everything set up. See here, right? So here you have to search embedded map. Okay, something like this on the search panel, and then you will find, you can scroll little bit down and you will find this option called maps embedded API. Okay, so make sure it's enabled. So right now is enabled for me. Okay, so you will find the disable enable button, so click on it and it will be enabled. Okay, and once you enable with the existing API, you can able to use this Google Map API service. Okay, so it's quite simple. Again, what you have to do, let's go back here and let me go back, and you have to copy this iframe. Okay, so, sorry, so you can copy this all of this code. Okay, this is JavaScript code, but we are using the React TypeScript, so a little bit different. but that's fine, we will cover it, okay, how to do it. So here, after this div, we'll add this iframe. Okay, so for the iframe, what I will do, I will change this little bit. So I will be change width, height, okay, in the format like this. We don't want styling, then allow full screen is not applicable, and this one also not applicable. Okay, obviously in the source, right, we have to wrap it in a curly braces, and then we need to replace this with the API. So okay, so we have to add the process dot env dot API name like this. Okay, then we have to add plus colon like this. Okay, and obviously we need to replace this. So let me copy directly. I have with the actual formatted address. Okay, why am I getting error? Okay, so for this query, we added this formatted address and everything is as it is. Let me change this one. Okay, perfect. Now we have the width, height, and everything. Now, if I save this one and let's go back to our application, okay, you see the map is showing, but it's not formatted correctly. So what I will do, I will add some class name, and here I will say width to be full, height of 200 pixel, and then I will make the rounded large. Okay, the corner will be rounded, and if you see the corner is rounded, the height is perfectly matching and everything. Okay, so what I will do, I will use also give some margin to top for this div up to 5. And if you see the map is showing on the screen, if I change to some other, right, if I go to Manhattan Times Square, see the map is changing immediately. See, so beautifully, right? And you don't need to do anything. Within some few click, we added this uh, Google Map integration in our app with the help of iframe embedded Google Map API. Perfect. Okay, until this point, if you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Now on the click of this direction, right, we want to jump it on the actual Google Map with the direction and all. Okay, so for that one, uh, let's go back to our direction button. Okay, so I will just find it here, direction, and here I will write on click method. Okay, so here I will add the on click method like this, and we'll add method on direction click method. So we have to define this on direction click method. So here constant, I will add on direction click, okay, like this, and here I will add the window dot open method, okay, with the URL, and inside the query I will pass the place name. So here I will pass the place name, the formatted address along with that one. Okay, and this is the Google Maps search URL. Okay, it's simple URL, you can just access from source code, and this is how it looks. Now save everything. Let's go back to our application. Okay, refresh it once to make sure that changes is affected here. Okay, and now if I click on this one, right, you will get the beautiful view. If I click on direction, see the Google Map is opening with the name of this particular what is it, Google Map information, the place information, and everything. Okay, this is how it works. I hope you understand it, and simply way, you just add this open this particular place information on the Google Map. Okay, now we need to implement the search functionality so that we can actually pass whatever the user type inside this search box, and once user click on this button, search button, we will get and show the actual result. Okay, so let's go back to our application, and inside this page.txx, right, we have this hero component, right. So inside the hero component we have our search input field, right. So inside this input field, whenever user type, we need to accept it. Okay, so here what I will do, I will add the on change method. Okay, so this on change method will return the event. Okay, and let's console this event. So in order to get what the actual user return the value, right, we can get it using e, which is event dot target dot value. Okay, and save it. Now let's go back to our application, open the inspect panel, and inside the console, right, when you type something, right, some, for example, New York. See, each for each key press, right, you will see the event is occurred and it's showing on the console. Okay, so once user type uh, New York hotels, right, something like this, and click on this button, we need to make sure that this particular text we will send back from this hero txx file, which is the child component, to this parent component. Okay, so first of all, what I will do, I will define one state called constant search input comma set search input is equal to use state. Okay, is of type string, like this. Okay, now search set search input, so here we'll change to set search input, like this. Okay, now inside the search input we have the value once user entered. Right, now on this button click, so what I will do, let me bring this down, and here I will add on click method. Okay, so on the click of this one we'll some set some value, so I will just say um, user input. Okay, so I will say user input, and I will pass this value, which is search input. Okay, so in this we have search input, and this is the user input method we are calling. So obviously we need to define, so I will copy this one, and in order to uh, pass to the parent, right, here we have to define it as a props, and I will mark it as a type any. Okay, see, now obviously save this one and go back to page.tsx. Here you have to accept it here, user input. Okay, now to test it out, right, what we can do, we'll save value and just console this value. Obviously this value is of type string, mark it as a string and save it. Okay, clean everything, type something, set, okay, let me refresh, set data. Okay, and if I click on this one, right, say we are getting data, we'll say sure, click it, see Charlotte is coming. Okay, so this is how we can get the data here. Now obviously we need to call this get place list method. Okay, so what I will do, I will, on this user input I will call this method, and I'm passing this value, so obviously you have to pass some value here, value like this, or of type string. Okay, and then we will pass this in a query. Okay, like this, so I will change this to and pass the value. Okay, obviously here you can pass some default value, so for example, hotels in New York, New York. Okay, something like this, and save everything. Let's go back to our application, refresh the screen. Okay, so right now we are getting hotels in New York. For example, if I write one hotels in Chicago and search it, okay, see the cheese changed completely. Okay, and we got the hotel in Chicago only. See, if I open this one, central loop, see the map is coming, everything's coming. Okay, perfect. Now I'm giving one task to you, right? Whenever I search something, if I search a cafe in Chicago, okay, and search it, it's taking some time, and then it's changing this UI, right? So you can show the loader on this particular page so that you will see the result. Okay, try it. You can use two different types of loader. You can use actual the simple loader, okay, on the click when you are get searching some result, or you can use the skeleton effect for this one. Okay, so we are using the skeleton effect, but you can try on your own. In the next section we will see how we can use the skeleton effect. Now let's add loading skeleton effect. Okay, so for that one, Tailwind CSS provide this beautiful pulse animation. Okay, and it which act like a skeleton effect only. Okay, so let's copy this line of code and modify according to your layout. Okay, so I already made this one file called skeleton.txx inside the component folder, and inside here I added this skeleton structure. Okay, you can refer this from my source code. The link of my source code is in the description. Now let's go back to our place list. Okay, so what we will do, whenever the place list is available, we will show this line of code, and when place list is empty, then we will show our skeleton effect. Okay, so for that one, what I will do, I will copy this same div, okay, over here. Let me bring this down here like this. Okay, see, so this is the grid structure we need it, okay, to show the skeleton effect. And obviously we need to show it, so what I will do, inside the curly braces we need to iterate the skeleton component multiple times. So I will put the array like this, okay, dot map, and inside that I will add item comma index like this, okay, and inside that I will add the skeleton component. Okay, and if I save everything, let's go back to our application, and below that you see the skeleton effect is showing, and you see the all the seven component is showing on the screen. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to give the condition, okay, here. So if place list dot length is greater is equal to 0, okay, this condition you need to write. So question mark, if the place list length is 0, then you need to show this code, otherwise show null. Okay, and let's take this out. I will put question mark and see. Okay, now let's refresh the screen and see the skeleton effect is showing. Okay, and once the data is available, then actual data is showing and the skeleton effect is gone. Okay, let's search something. If I search cafe and search it, right, now it's immediately replacing this cafe. But what you can do, when you click on search button, you can empty the selected place, and then you can make the change. Okay, so what I will do, on the get place list, here I will make the set place list to be empty like this. Okay, and if you see the initial is empty, if I search, see the immediate effect has happened, right? If I search gas station, search it, see the effect is come, and once the data is available, it's immediately showing this actual data, and the skeleton effect is gone. Okay, so I hope you understand this one. So our application is completely ready. Now it's time to deploy it on the server so that you can share it with your friends and family. So first of all, we will deploy it on Vercel. Okay, so Vercel is one of the best and free hosting provider. Okay, so it's a, if you go to this vercel.com, okay, then you have to log into the account and create a new account if you don't have, and then you can go to this vercel.com, okay, slash dashboard, and you will see the screen like this. But before that, we need to move this code on the GitHub. Okay, if you don't have account on GitHub, create a one on github.com, and once you create the account here, you have to create a new repository. Okay, so click on create new repository, and here you need to give the name. So in this case I will give discover places. Okay, and you can make it public or private. I will keep it public, and then click create a repository. Okay, once you create a repository, here some of the step you need to follow. Okay, so first of all, you need to initialize the git in your application. Okay, so inside the terminal, just type git init, so it will initialize the git. Okay, so you see it's initialize the git. Then you have to add this particular readmd if you don't have. Okay, or you can just uh, do the git space add dot. Okay, so it will add all your files. Okay, then you have to commit it. Okay, so you can say final changes. Okay, you can give the commit message and enter it. See, and then you can just push it. So here, okay, so here you need to push with this particular command, okay, because first time you are pushing. So say git push origin main, okay. So it's saying fail to push reference to origin. Just try to this one and let's try to push it now. So it's saying could not origin not appear to the git repository, could not read from the repository. Make sure you have the correct access. Exit git status push. Don't know what's the issue. Okay, so what we miss, right? We need to add this origin. Okay, so once we add the origin, then we can able to push the code. See, we forgot to add the origin, right? Because we need to tell to this particular VS Code that okay, you have to point, you have to connect this particular application to this particular repository. Okay, now if I refresh the screen, because we push the code, you see our code is live now. Okay, and all our code asset files are here inside this github. Okay, now it's time to deploy. So go to the vercel.com and say click add new project. Okay, inside that, here you will have to connect with the git repository first. Okay, you have multiple options called gitlab, github, or bitbucket. So in this case the github, and as soon as you see, right, here is the repository, and just now we created, that's why it's showing 45 seconds ago now. Okay, click import, and then project name you have to give, everything is there, right? If you want to set the environment variable, okay, you can set it. So what you have to do, go to the .env and just copy this environment variable like this. Okay, and do value for it. See, add, it's the same value for other, and this public as well, this, add it, and then click deploy. So it will take few seconds to deploy the application. So I will pause the video, and boom, our application is get deployed, and this beautiful preview is showing that okay, this is how it it looks. Okay, now if you click on this particular preview, it will open new window, and this is the URL they assign for this particular application, and now you can share this URL with your friends and family. Now you can also change the URL or domain name. Okay, so if I go to the dashboard for this particular application and then go to the setting, and here we have domain section. Okay, now you can say edit, and then you can edit this domain. So I will say discover.places.com, and I will save it. Okay, now if I open this one, see our that particular application is running on this particular edited domain. You can attach your own domain as well. Okay, perfect. So guys, that's all for this particular course, and I hope you enjoy this uh, tutorial. If you have any question, any doubt, let me know in the comment section, or you can DM me on my Instagram channel. Also, if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe, join my channel, and you will get a beautiful, a lot of perks from my channel. Okay, also soon, very soon, we are going to we are going to conduct live sessions. Okay, it will be some of the free and some of the paid session will be available. So I will schedule it, and I will let you know the schedule for the live session. Okay, it will be a one-to-one session, as well as it will be a group session. Okay, so be tuned, subscribe to my channel, and if you really like this video, press like button, share this video with your friends and family. So guys, we'll meet you next time. Until then, see you, bye bye, keep smiling.